Joining me now to discuss this, Florida's House Speaker, Chris Sprowls. Mr. Speaker, great to have you here on the program. Your legislature has been focused on foreign interference in your state's universities and research institutions, especially concerning China. They are a government of thieves, honestly, stealing our science, stealing our technology. Discuss with the folks out there what your team has found.
Well, thanks, Chris. I appreciate you having me. You know, this all started a little over a year ago when we found out that one of our most prestigious cancer centers in the state of Florida had a CEO, a vice president of research, and other researchers who had secret Chinese bank accounts and secret relationships with the Chinese government that they had not disclosed to Florida taxpayers, or to the cancer center. So we convened a special committee to look at the influence of China in our research institutions. And what we found was shocking. The University of Florida had 4 researchers who had inappropriate relationships. One was recently indicted. One of the researchers was working on artificial intelligence. Another researcher at the University of Central Florida fled the country. His research assistant was indicted. They were working on autonomous submarine parts. Other researchers have been swept up in this. This is a pervasive problem, not just across the country, Chris, but here in the state of Florida. And what we did the other day, myself, Governor DeSantis, our House members and partners in the Senate, is that we're not going to tolerate this anymore. We're going to have radical transparency. We're going to vet researchers. We're going to look at the donations that are coming in from foreign governments, particularly foreign adversaries. And we're going to begin to defend ourselves and to defend taxpayers against a pervasive threat where China has come to our research institutions to steal our intellectual property.
You mentioned Governor DeSantis. How supportive and integral has he been in this whole process?
Oh, the governor has been a great leader on the issue. He absolutely gets it. He understands how pervasive the threat is. It's why he used his opportunity to come forward and support the legislation, to push the legislation. So he's been a great partner for us on it and spreading the word about how we can do this, as well as making sure that the research institutions know that we now have an expectation that they are to lean in and they are going to defend our intellectual property and begin to vet the kind of researchers who have a vulnerable ability to steal our intellectual property and send it to adversary countries like China.
Well, you mentioned that Mr. DeSantis is a good leader, and nobody's ever accused Mr. Biden of being that. His administration and his socialist Democrats, they are committed to delivering for China rather than the American people. Can Florida push back on all of this alone, or will you need other free states to join in?
You know, it's a great question. It's one we've heard a lot of. You know, what is Florida legislature? What's a House Speaker and a governor doing pushing back on China? Well, you have 2 things. First, you already said it. You know, the federal government's failed to do it. But more importantly, think about where China has gone. They've gone to local governments. They've gone to colleges. They've gone to universities. They've gone to laboratories. Where are they housed? In the states. They're overseen by the states. They're funded by the states. I actually believe that the states is exactly the kind of place where we can begin to push back on China in a very successful way, because we have the oversight tools that often the federal government doesn't have with these state-sponsored institutions. So we intend to use them, and we intend to push back and set a model for the country. We're the first state in America to roll out a package like this, and we hope others will follow suit.
Well, let me ask you, have you reached out to any of your fellow speakers or other politicians in some of the other free states, Texas and others, to say, hey guys, this is what we're doing, want to join in? Any interest?
Yeah, absolutely. I've sent it out to some friends that I've had along the way who are, involved in legislatures, in other states, and we hope that they'll pick up the mantle. I think they're looking to Florida, like they have in so many other issues like school choice and other conservative fights, to see how it goes here. But that's why we're so committed to success, to make sure that we get this done and set a model for the country.
Mr. Speaker, appreciate the time. Keep us posted on your efforts. We are glad to see at least one state pushing back against communist China.